Madison Scarpino, thank you so much. Let's bring in now former California GOP chairwoman Jessica Millan Patterson and former chief counsel for Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee, attorney Julian Epstein. Great to have you both here. So it's the end of the year. We decided we should grade the president. So I want to start off where Madison left off with foreign policy. Julian, you, I believe, are giving the president an A-. Is that correct? Is that what we've got for you on foreign policy?
On foreign policy, yeah, I would give the president an A-. I would give him an A+ except for Ukraine. I think he's done extraordinary on the foreign policy front. The biggest thing, of course, has been the realignment, I think, of the Middle East, which looks like we're moving towards a pro-West, pro-Israel, pro-peace realignment, largely because of what the president did in Iran and in Gaza. I think there's been a little bit too much foot dragging on Ukraine, but there's been an enormous amount of peace deals all around the world. So I would give the president an A+, but for the foot dragging on Ukraine.
Yeah. Jessica, similar grade from you.
A- when the Republicans and Democrats are agreeing on this. Now we are in a position where the world is back to looking at America as the leader. We have the peace through strength doctrine, which has been brought back into focus for Americans. We have the hostages at home. We have seen so much happen since the 4 years of Joe Biden and the chaos that we saw on the world stage. We are respected again. We are not seen as weak. We are seen as the leaders. Our adversaries know that they are to be on watch, and our allies know that we are there for them.
Julian, the other part of Madison's reporting was the economy, and there has been some good news on that. The GDP figures, inflation bumping down to, I think it was 2.7 was the latest figure. So what's your grade on the economy, Julian?
I give the president a B+. It's a whole lot better than the Biden economy. All the major indicators, as Madison's report showed, whether it's interest rates, whether it is inflation, whether it is GDP growth at 4.3% a year, whether it's foreign direct investment, whether it's investment in factories, all those things are very, very good. The reason I give him a B+ is because I think the tariffs aren't quite creating the manufacturing jobs that was once promised, and I think they're dragging on the BBB, the Build Back Better legislation, which would otherwise be firing the economy maybe into the 5% GDP growth area. I think the president also has to take the affordability issue more seriously. I think he has to get behind a legislative package for deregulation and cutting government spending. Those are the two things that cause inflation, and they cause it under the Biden administration. And he could be setting up a great contrast for the big government Democrats. And I think he's not quite on top of that yet.
Yeah, and it does seem if there is a worry for Republicans as we enter a year of midterms, Jessica, it is the economy, and I think that's reflected in your grade as well. Also a B+?
Also a B+. Once again, we've got some agreement here. Listen, when you see S&P is up almost 18% year over year, when we've got inflation that has been sharply reduced to that mid-2 range, this is all good news. We see these pro-growth policies that has given so much confidence to the business community for long-term investment here in America. This is all great news. What we need to make sure is that Americans feel it. They have to feel it. And they're starting to feel it with gas prices and grocery prices, with wage increases. I think that this is something that is going to excel in the next year, but it's a B+ for this first year.
All right. And then arguably one of the most controversial issues of the past 11 months, Julian, the president's immigration policy. It has sparked protests that have on certain points, including here in LA, turned into near riots or what some would call actual riots. But it's been, I think, broadly popular among the American people. What grade do you give the president on immigration?
Well, Jonathan, I'd give him an A- because he has closed the borders, which is very, very popular. Open borders has been very destabilizing, not just in the United States, but throughout the West. Look at what's happening in Europe. So I think he's been very good. And as we said, you and I have talked about many times, he didn't need legislation to close the borders. He actually did that. So that's good. What I don't think he's done well enough is communicated the deportation, particularly the violent confrontations. I don't think he's communicated as well on that. And what I think this administration and the Republican Party with Democrats ought to be doing is doing things like E-Verify, having employers verify that the people that they are hiring are legal. And that, I think, would stop the downward pressure that illegal immigration is creating on particularly for working class Americans. And I think it would solve a lot of the economic and cultural dislocation we're seeing from the open borders policy. So I think they ought to be more aggressive on things like E-Verify.
Okay, Jessica, your final grade for the president, immigration.
An A on immigration. You know, we have seen the illegal border crossings go down about 90%. It's virtually not happening anymore. We have seen the enforcement of these laws, as Julia mentioned, without a single new law. This is all things that when President Biden said, well, I need Congress to act. President Trump has done this with the laws that have been on the books, and that's all we needed was someone who was brave enough to go and enforce that. What we have also seen is the pipeline of narcotics and drugs being shut down coming in to America. So we see all of these fentanyl deaths going down. We see the seizures from the Border Patrol. That is just phenomenal. I think everything that the president has done when it comes to illegal immigration, getting control of our border and making America more safe has been phenomenal. I give him an A grade.
All right. Thank you so much, Julian and Jessica. I would give you both an A+++++, or whatever the president called it, for your work all year with us. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here.
Merry Christmas, Jonathan.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.